Joining us now to discuss more is friend of the show, Dr. Rafe Sonenshein, Executive Director of the Pat Brown Institute for Public Affairs at Cal State LA. Thank you so much for being here.
My pleasure.
Doctor, there is a sort of careful dance going on behind the scenes amongst these politicians. How are these candidates positioning themselves to the governor?
Well, to the outside world, they're not positioning themselves at all, which means it's very bad form and bad taste with an appointment to go public with why you should be the person appointed. But all their friends and associates and are making cases to the governor in public and in other ways that their community or this particular person should get this very, very valuable appointment. I don't know how effective all this lobbying will be on the governor, but certainly it's something that candidates are not free to do.
Now, what kind of electorate might Governor Newsom want to energize for the 2022 election with this pick? There is obviously pressure on him to fill the seat with a person of color.
Well, I think that's very important. There are many constituencies in the Democratic Party that are looking for greater and greater recognition and more of a seat at the table. African Americans, including African American women who have been very prominent, Latinos and Latinas who throughout the country have been organizing, and also Asian Americans who played a very big role around the country in a number of states in Joe Biden's victory. Women in the Democratic Party are very much the base activists of the party, have made a very big difference. There's a great deal of concern there. Also, Southern California wants to make sure that it's not left behind when Northern Californian politicians have decisions to make about open seats. So there's just a lot. The LGBTQ community very much wants to be heard. So I wouldn't want to be in the governor's position here because he's only got one seat to fill and many groups and candidates with a good claim on it.
Oh, absolutely. And we know we've listened from some of them in our shows. And of course, we just heard from Long Beach Mayor Robert Garcia. They all seem like they're really well positioned to fill this seat. But let's talk a little bit about the timeline. When do you expect we'll hear from the governor as to his decision? Is this something that we're going to be biting our nails on the edge of our seat until January 20th, or do you think it'll come sooner?
I have this weird feeling that I think the governor wishes this was over now, but it's going to stretch out because, for one thing, the seat's not open yet. The new Congress takes office in January 6th, and Kamala Harris will still hold that seat all the way up until she's inaugurated as vice president. On January 6th, she'll actually be declared vice president by Congress that will certify the votes of the Electoral College for president and VP. So who knows if the seat will be vacant or if the governor will want to appoint someone before the seat is technically vacant. It would certainly take a lot of heat off him if he could make the decision as soon as possible. I have a feeling this is going to drag on, but I'm not too good at predictions these days, I'm sorry to say.
I totally understand. I think we're done with predictions after 2016, after these latest polls. Man, I think we're all done with predictions. But, it's going to give us a lot to talk about over the next few weeks. So definitely stay tuned for that. Dr. Rafe Sonenshein, Executive Director of the Pat Brown Institute, thank you so much for joining us today.
My pleasure.